Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here in the What a Juice channel, and welcome back to another 10-year rebuild series. That's right, we just finished up the LA Rams one last week with the 10 years of their rebuild, and unfortunately, we only came away with one Super Bowl trophy in that entire 10 years. Now, you could argue that we had a good enough team to win maybe two, maybe even three or four Super Bowl trophies, but Madden simulation can be very finicky at times, and we came away with just one. So technically it was a success. We've done the Patriots 10-year rebuild, we've done the Rams 10-year rebuild, and in both of those rebuilds, we've come away with at least one Super Bowl. Now we take on a new challenge. The Rams were god-awful when we took them over in the first year. But that does not even hold a candle to how bad the Arizona Cardinals are. Yes, the Arizona Cardinals are going to be our team for this next chapter in the 10-year rebuild series. We are going to be trying to turn the Arizona Cardinals from what they are right now, which is just mind-numbingly awful, into, hopefully, a dynasty that is worth multiple championships. That's the goal. Let's see if we can get to it. But first, we got to meet the team. And this team is bad. Let's get to it. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let's go get it. Let's go meet this Arizona Cardinals team because they are just not good. Now, obviously, this is a big project. This is a very, very big project. We have Kyler Murray, and I think we're going to have Kyler Murray be the quarterback for this rebuild, at least for the majority of it. I can't guarantee that he's going to be the quarterback for the entire 10 years because that would put him at 35, 36 years old. I can't guarantee that he's even going to be around with, like, in terms of contract. What's the salary cap going to look like? I don't know what the landscape of the roster and the salary cap is going to look like that many years down the road. But at least for the foreseeable future, for this episode, next episode, probably for the next 3 or 4 years, Kyler Murray will be our quarterback. And I think does he have his contract in this game? Or is it not loaded in yet? I don't think he does. So he's here for 7 years. So Kyler Murray is here for 7 years. So at least for 7 seasons, we don't have to worry about re-signing Kyler Murray. It's just a matter of, are we sold with Kyler Murray as our quarterback? Now, there's a lot of controversy and a lot of questions about that in real life. Are the Cardinals willing to go on and keep Kyler Murray as their quarterback? Is he their franchise guy? They paid him this huge bag. Is he going to be living up to that? He's small. He gets injured frequently. He's just coming off of I think it was a torn ACL in real life against the Patriots on a non-contact play. I was watching that game live. It was crazy. And that ended his season. And now he's coming back off of that. Is he going to be the same player? Is he going to be as quick and as nimble as he used to be? We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. But in Madden, he's a good quarterback. He's 79 overall. He's only 25 years old. He's got superstar development. He can develop if we have a good team around him. He can turn out to be an X factor. He can turn out to be an 85 plus. He can be a 90 plus if he gets the right roster around him and the right game plan and the right playbook and all that kind of stuff. We can turn Kyler Murray a lot easier in this game than in real life. We can make him. They're gonna have to struggle with him. So for at least a few seasons, we're going to keep Kyler Murray as the quarterback. I think he's good enough. But the rest of this team, good God, it is not good. We have old players. We have just not that good of players. We found out that Rondale Moore can be a #1 receiver in the Rams rebuild. We signed him a couple of years, with a couple of years to go. I think he was our #1 receiver for at least 3 to 4 seasons, and he was putting up 900 to 1,000 plus yard seasons every single season. Like, he was going crazy. So Rondale Moore has the potential to be a #1 receiver, so I'm not going to move on from him just yet. Hollywood Brown is very, very good, but he's just, I don't know, he's 25 as well. Obviously, him and Kyler have that history at Oklahoma. I mean, he could be a good number 2. I don't think Hollywood is a number 1. He could be a number 2. I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. The offense line is obviously very bad. There's no redeeming qualities here. There's no depth. We don't have anybody that I can like, oh, let's bank on developing him as a backup. Like, no, there's nobody here that everybody's gonna go. I mean, I love Billy Price, go Bucks, but he's just not good in the game, and he's got normal development, and it's hard for a normal development offensive lineman to develop. So everybody's got to go. So the whole offensive line needs a reboot. Zach Ertz needs to be out of here. He's old, and he's got a big contract, I'm pretty sure. What's his contract looking like? He's too old. He's past his prime, and he's got a 3-year contract of total of 17.4. So that contract is just not worth it. We do have Trey McBride, who I am intrigued by. I do like Trey McBride. Do I think he's a developing piece? Possibly. We'll find out. I don't know. We'll keep him around for a few seasons. We'll see how it goes. But he's one that could possibly stay around. The only guys, James Conner probably is going to be gone. He's not that great of a running back anyway. The only guys that are going to stay around guaranteed are Kyler Murray and Trey McBride and Rondale Moore. Those are the 3 guys that I've guaranteed to be around for at least the few seasons of this rebuild, the first few seasons. Everybody else has a possibility of getting moved. On the defense, it's just not that much better. Budda Baker wants out, so we might trade him at the end of the season. I do want to mention that this roster is the up-to-date roster, except there are no rookies. I know the NFL draft happened. There are no 2023 NFL rookies on these teams. The 2023 NFL draft class is going to be the first draft class that we draft in this one. Everyone else, every year after that, we will go random, auto-generated, all that kind of good stuff. So the 2023 draft is the only one that we will have real-life players coming in. So that is what we need to look forward to at the end of this simulation. But, I mean, there's just no redeeming qualities about this team. Zaven Collins is a nice young linebacker, but they probably reached a little bit too high for him when they drafted him last season, or a couple seasons ago, whenever it was. He probably could have went in the 2nd, maybe even the 3rd round, but he's a fine linebacker. I'm not hating on him by any means. There's no good players on the defensive line. The corners are all bad. Jalen Thompson is a fine safety. Maybe he turns out to be something. He's still pretty young, 24 years old, so he could end up developing into something pretty good. I'd say on the defense, Zaven Collins and Jalen Thompson are about the only ones that are going to be safe for a couple of seasons. Zaven Collins is even on that little threshold of I don't know what to do with him. Budda Baker's probably... Oh, and Isaiah Simmons is a guarantee. Isaiah Simmons is going to be here. We might even move him to linebacker just to make him that kind of hybrid safety linebacker that he does play, and just so we don't have to play Ben Neiman. But Budda Baker, we are going to trade at the end of the season, so that because he said that he wanted out of there, and we will give him his wish. But this team has no redeeming qualities. There is not a lot to be happy about, and not a lot to be enthused by or intrigued for the future, I guess you could say. So we're paying Kyler Murray obviously a huge contract. DJ Humphries, he's making way too much money to be mid, so he's going to be out of here. Budda Baker, like I said, is probably going to get traded. Jalen Thompson's under contract for 4 seasons, so that's good. We can keep him around for at least 4 years before we have to re-sign him. Zach Ertz is going to be out of here, so that's going to free up some money, although the penalty is 12.3 to get rid of him, which is not good. The penalty for DJ Humphries is 33.6. That's going to be a big hit to the budget if we trade him away. We do have $82.3 million in cap space, so that's not too bad. James Conner's going to be out of here. Isaiah Simmons will stick around. Marquise Brown for at least 2 seasons to finish out his contract will be here. Zaven Collins probably is going to be around. Everybody under that, except for Rondale Moore and Trey McBride, they're probably going to be out of here. No hate on any of these guys. They're all fine players. They all made it to the NFL, so I can't hate on them too much. But they're just in the game of Madden, they're not that good. So starting year 1, we have 77 offense, 73 defense, 75 overall. We are going to run the Arizona playbook for both offense and defense for this first season. We'll see how it goes. We'll give the Arizona playbook a couple of seasons to see if it is viable for us. And if it's still, once we start to add more players that are good around the team and it's still not working, then we'll see what happens. So that's kind of the early game plan for what I'm thinking for the first couple of years. But there's really not much else to talk about for this first season. We got to sim to the halfway point of the year and find out if this team is as bad as I think we are. But I do want to, not free agency, I want to check the trades because I want to see what our draft pick is. Do we have our draft pick? I think we do. And remember, we don't have the Texans pick that they traded in real life to get Will Anderson. We don't have that. I could give us that pick if I was feeling a little cheeky, but we don't have that right now. We do have our own first pick, but we don't have 2 first-round picks next year in 2024. If you guys want to see me do that for next episode, so we have 2 first-round picks next episode, I could do that. Since technically they traded it during the 2023 draft, which is the draft that we're going to be doing in this video, if you want to see me do it by next episode, I will have 2 first-round picks. Just leave a comment down below. If you don't care, whatever. If you do care, then I won't do it. But we could add a second first-round pick by way of the Texans. But we do have our own first-round pick, so that's good. It's going to be bad. It's going to be good, I should say, because we're going to be bad. But let's simulate to the halfway point of the season, see how Kyler Murray does, see how this offense does, and find out if we are as bad as I think we are. So, see you guys then. We made it to the midseason mark, and we're not the worst team in the division. That would go to the Seahawks. And this is the real-life rosters, excluding the rookies, so the Seahawks are 0-7 at the midway point. I don't know what that says about how good the Seahawks are going to be in real life, but Madden doesn't believe in them. Maybe their rookies are going to change things. We currently sit at 2-5. We are tied with the Rams for second in the division. The 49ers are obviously in first place. This is about where I thought we would be. I thought we'd honestly only have like 0 or 1 wins. I thought we'd be in the Seahawks position. We do have bad morale, which is going to hinder the development because Kyler Murray did go up to an 80 overall, but his morale is taking him down to a 79 still. So once we start to get out of that losing all the time, the morale will start to go up and then everybody will start to play better. That's just how it goes. But right now we are just going to have to ride it out. The Commanders are 6-1. Oh, okay. Who's the quarterback in Washington? It would be Sam Howell, wouldn't it? Who's the Washington Commander quarterback? The Washington Commander is Jacoby Brissett. The Brisket is quarterbacking the Commanders to a 6-1 record. Whatever. Whatever you want, man. I don't make the rules. Let's go to, I guess I could show you the mock draft since it's the real life players. So here you go. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Paris Johnson Jr. Obviously, we know this class very well because we just saw them get drafted in real life. And I accidentally backed out before I could see what our pick is sitting at. Our pick is sitting at 6, taking Jalen Carter. I would not hate the pick Jalen Carter right there. I would definitely not hate that. But I feel like we're going to trade Budda Baker for a first-round pick. So we're going to have at least 2 of them. I definitely think Budda Baker could get us a first-round pick. That's just a guarantee. But players ready to negotiate. Who is of importance? Matt Prater is old. We can get a new kicker. AJ Green's old. He can retire. He retired in real life. So no offensive lineman I want back. I'd rather have bums than these old guys that I have to pay money to. I'd rather have bums. Max Williams, no. There's literally nobody that I want back. We can save all of this money for free agency. $104 million. We can save all of that money for free agency and for the draft. So, and you can use that to kind of eat up the penalty that we are going to take when we trade some of those other players. So, I'll see you guys in the playoffs. We will not be a part of them, but we'll see how the rest of the league turns out. I'll see you guys then. We made it to the playoffs, and the Seahawks actually had a resurgence of some sorts. I mean, they won 4 games. They were 0-7 at the midseason mark. They're 4-13 now, so they finished above us. We finished 3-13, or 3-14, excuse me, 3-14. So let's take a look at the standings. Are we the worst team in the league? There's a good possibility that we are. We are. We might have just secured ourselves the #1 overall pick. Okay. And then we're not tied with anybody. So we might be the #1 overall pick. Let me take a look at the trades. Are we the #1 overall pick? Do we have that lockdown guaranteed? Because that's huge. #2 pick. Who's got the #1 pick? Is it the Seahawks? The Seahawks have the #1 pick? Hold on. It looks like the Bears picked up Zeke. Do the Seahawks have the #1 pick? They do. They must have had it from... That can't be theirs, can it? Actually, you know what it might be? We might have won the season series against them. And then we would have technically been ahead of them. I don't know. I don't know how they have the number 1 pick. It could be a trade with somebody. I don't know. They have the number 1 pick. We have the number 2 pick in the draft, which is not bad by any means. It is not bad by any means. It just figures that we can do some stuff with this, because we're gonna trade Buda Baker for a first overall pick, not first overall, for a first round pick as well. So we can do that. We've probably got to take defensive players because we don't have any good ones. It's the Chiefs and the Vikings as your Super Bowl matchup. I'm gonna take the Chiefs, obviously. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, can't go against them. Are they gonna go back to back? And they do. It was a closer game than I thought it was going to be, but they do go back-to-back. The Chiefs are your champions. And we'll take a look at the season recap, see what happens here. Actually, it's not bad. Technically, it's not back-to-back because they haven't accounted for this actual season against the Eagles. But Mahomes is your MVP. Hurts is the MVP of the league. Staley for the Chargers is Coach of the Year. A.J. Brown, Brian Burns are Offense and Defense Players of the Year. And Garrett Wilson and Aiden Hutchinson are your Offense and Defensive Rookies of the Year. Okay. So nobody on our team. Obviously, I didn't expect us to have anybody, to be fair. So let's go trade Buda Baker. Make sure that we have another first-round pick to work with. And then we can go from there. Probably trade DJ Humphries as well. We have $126 million because I'm expecting we had some retirements. Tom Brady retires as a member of the Seahawks. Okay, whatever. Good for him. Justin Houston retires. Mercedes Lewis. Rodgers retires after 1 season on the Jets. Oh, no. I hope that's not what... Actually, you know what? I do hope that's what happens to the Jets. I hate the Jets. Calais Campbell. Devin McCourty retires. Jason Kelsey. Melvin Ingram. So we had a couple guys. We had Andy Lee, Kelvin Beachum. I was going to trade Kelvin Beachum. And Cole McCoy. Okay, Carlos Dunlap, Matt Ryan. Very interesting retirements. Jason Peters, Eric Fisher, Joe Flacco. Okay. A few former Patriots in there as well. Very, very interesting. And Pete Carroll. I wonder if Pete Carroll will retire in real life. Probably not. Very, very interesting. Players that are ready to negotiate. Obviously, we don't have to renegotiate with Kelvin Beachum anymore. But we're probably going to trade Will Hernandez because he's got some sort of value, I would think. He's not super old, and he's still decent overall. But everybody else, including Buda Baker, is going to be out of here. So let's go do that right away. Let's go to the Manage the Rosters, to the Trade Center, and let's go trade away our best player, our highest rated player. What can I get? Who's got a high pick? The Seahawks, we don't have a high pick, but I don't want to give them Buda Baker. I don't want to give them my best player, not a division rival at least. So who needs a safety? The Buccaneers need a safety, but they pick at pick 14. I don't really want a pick in the top 15. I'd probably rather take a pick in the top 10. I know I'm being a little greedy, but I'd probably prefer a pick in the top 10. But everybody that's in the top 10 doesn't need a safety. Very interesting. The Lions have 4 and 6. I'm sure they'd be willing to part with one of them to get a safety like Buda Baker. Who's their starting strong safety? Oh, it's C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Who's their free safety? Tracy Walker. You can move CJ to strong or to free and then have Buda Baker. I don't know. We'll move on from them. Maybe we'll come back. Who else has a good amount of picks or a decent rated pick that could use a safety? The Texans have pick 3. They need a free safety. Who's their strong safety? It's Jimmy Ward. Buda Baker would be a big improvement over Jimmy Ward. You have pick 3 and pick 13. Can we get Buda Baker for a 3rd overall pick? Almost. We can almost get Buda Baker. I don't want the 1st overall pick because I think it's going to be a quarterback. Actually, hold on. I'm going to take a look at the mock drafts. I know the mock drafts still haven't, we still need 4 and 5, so it's could change. But right now they have Luke Van Ness. I thought it was going to be Will Anderson. That's what I was worried about. They have us. Wait, they have us as the number 1 overall pick? In mock draft, I thought the Seahawks had the number 1 overall pick. I'm confused. But we're not taking Luke Van Ness. So that's a guarantee. We're not going to take CJ or Bryce Young. I know they're probably pretty good. Look at those stats. They're obviously pretty good. But we're going to stick with Kyler. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I want Will Anderson and I want Jalen Carter. Those are probably the two guys that I'm going to go for. But there's so many good players. I mean, Paris Johnson Jr., we need a left tackle. Christian Gonzalez, Tyree Wilson, Michael Mayer for tight end, Peter Skoronski. There's a lot of good players in this class that we could take. I think we'll trade with the Texans to get the 3rd overall pick. We'll trade Budda Baker to Houston. They could use a safety like Budda Baker. They could use him. So we'll trade him to the Texans. We will go and get the 3rd overall pick. Thank you very much. We're going to have to throw something else in. I could give them another player. They need a free safety. We have Jalen Thompson. They need a left outside linebacker. We have nobody there. Right outside linebacker, we have not really anything there. I could give them Gardeck, Dennis Gardeck, and then we'll throw in a pick because it's probably not going to do anything. Actually, it moved it up a little bit. We'll throw up a pick as well because Willie Anderson's going to take the right outside linebacker spot anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So let's throw in a 5th rounder this year, see if that gets it done. Ooh, no, it's probably going to be, you know what? I'll do a 3rd next year. No, 4th next year. We'll go to a 4 next year. No. How about a 3 next year? 3 next year's close. Is it going to take a 2? I don't want to trade my 2 this year. I'll trade a 2 next year. Trade offer accepted. So Budda Baker, a 2nd round pick next year, and Dennis Gardeck go to the Texans for the 3rd overall pick. So we have 2 and 3 right now. That's pretty good. We're sitting on some good... Actually, it changed it to 1, so I guess we have the 1st overall pick. I'm confused. We have the 1st overall pick. Maybe it didn't update when I was looking at it last time. So we have 1 and 3. One of them is going to be Will Anderson. One of them is going to be Jalen Carter. Is there any way that we can get another top 5 pick? I know I'm getting a little greedy and a little crazy out here, but this is for science. So let's go see. The Eagles have pick 5. What do they want? Get offers. They want my 1st overall pick. Okay, so that's a no. That's a no-go. Sorry about that. How about the Falcons have pick 27? That's probably a little bit easier. They want Marquise Brown and Josh Jones. Okay, I don't hate that. I don't want to give up Rondell Moore, Trey McBride. But we could give up Marquise Brown and Josh Jones, and then we could trade 27 to get up and keep moving up in the draft. That could be a possibility. I don't hate that. What about another pick? Like pick 10 from the Jaguars. What do they like? They want pick 3 and pick in a 7th round pick. Okay, I don't want to do that. Sorry about your luck, Jags. Don't want to do that. What about pick, not 26. That's too close to what we already had. Pick 16 from the Raiders. No, nothing. Man, these guys are being a little stingy, a little greedy here. I mean, I know I'm trying to be a little greedy, but when you've got a bad team, you got to try to be a little greedy. James Conner, what's his contract? Do we have him under contract for a few more seasons? I think we do. Because I don't want to trade him a little too early. Yeah, we still have him under contract, so I'll keep him around a little bit. We might as well. Marquise is making a lot of money. I don't like that. Zach Ertz can definitely go. We don't need Zach Ertz. So Zach Ertz and DJ Humphries will both go. And their value is not very high at all. So can we get another draft pick from the Raiders? Pick 16 for these two guys? That's the no-go. What about if I go to the Chiefs? Let me go to the Chiefs. They have a top pick or a bottom of the round pick because they just won the Super Bowl. What about that? Trade offer accepted. So we move into the first round with DJ Humphries and Zach Ertz, getting us pick 32 in the draft, which is awesome because now we have 3 first-round picks. What we're going to do with this pick is we're going to use it to trade up to get a higher pick. So we're going to start with the 32nd pick. We're going to go talk to a team that has, say, number 19 from the Colts. I have to go back out and do that. You guys understand the drill. We're going to go do this. We're going to trade up. And if we can get into the top 10 again, then that will be the ideal scenario. So we're going to do this. I'll show this one time, and then I'll cut it until we have a pick that I'm happy with. So we'll go to the Colts because they had picked 19. Go to the Colts. We'll see what they say about this. They are a little bit hesitant. I'll go a little bit lower. So we'll go like pick 22 from the Cowboys could work. That's only 10 spots up. Okay, so we can talk a little bit with them. We can talk a little bit. They want a left guard. I think we had a left guard, Justin Pugh. We can give them Justin Pugh. They kind of like that. We have a right end or a D tackle that they want. We have LJ Collier and nobody at D tackle. Center Billy Price is up for a contract. Just giving away all my offensive linemen. I guess that's a possibility. And then left outside linebacker, we don't have anybody that they want. That actually moved it a little bit. This might have to be a draft pick. So I could give them or a 4th round pick. Trade declined. I don't want to give them a 3rd round pick because a 3rd round pick could be a valuable starter. So, pick 22 might be a little bit too hard to get. Maybe 24, 25. The Eagles have pick 23. Okay, now we're talking. How about a 4th? Ooh, that's very close. That's very close. The 3 next year will get it done. Okay. So that's kind of the way that we're going to be doing it. I will cut now until I have a pick, a 3rd pick that I'm a little bit more happy with, and I'll see you guys when I get that done. Okay, so I was able to get up to pick 16, but anything further than that would have cost a little bit too much. So we've got pick 1, pick 3, and pick 16 in the first round of this draft. We are sitting very good for this draft. We're going to take Will Anderson, Jalen Carter for sure, and then the last pick, I don't know. So we need to get offensive linemen. We have like literally no offensive linemen. I traded away them all. I traded them all away. So we need to get some offensive linemen here. Don't need a quarterback. Running back is fine with James Conner for another season. Receiver, I could do with another receiver, but maybe we draft one this year in the drafts. Julio Jones for a season. Russell Gage is only 27, and he really wants to be here. I would consider Russell Gage. We'll see what happens there. We are the top team on him. Tight end will move on from we need offensive linemen just to fill out spots. So let's offer Jawan James because he wants to be here. So we'll offer him a 1-year contract. Then we'll go to the left guard spots, and we will offer Aaron Brewer a contract. I don't know if that's going to be enough to jump over. We're battling with the Chargers. I don't want to overpay for an offensive lineman that I'm not going to care about too much. So I'll offer that. See what that does. Does that budget over the Chargers? It does. So we'll go to center, and Connor McGovern wants to be here a little bit. So we'll offer him a contract. There we go. Right guard, Gabe Jackson kind of wants to be here. So we'll offer Gabe Jackson a contract. I told you, we need offensive linemen. So we're going to offer literally every single position. Questenberry, yep. You can come here because you need to be... Oh, I used all my negotiations. I hope there wasn't anybody that I actually wanted. No. Okay, this free agency class is not that good, so that's good. I didn't want to accidentally use all my stuff. So it's basically all offensive linemen right now and then Russell Gage. We're going to move the first evaluation thing. Everybody but Gabe Jackson signed. We got McGovern, Gage, Jawan, and Aaron Brewer. Was there anybody that we didn't get that I offered? I don't know. I think that's everybody. So that's good. So that's our new center, left tackle, left guard. Right guard is on the way, so we just need a right tackle, which is what I was about to get to. And it looks like Questenberry is still available, so we'll offer Questenberry a contract. Sure, why not? Just to fill out a body. We just need a body on the line. Larry Ogunjobi could be interesting. He kind of wants to be here. Jordan Phillips. There's not a whole lot here at the free agent market. It's not a good class. I'm not too upset about losing out on some of these guys. William Jackson, no. I think we just keep the rest of our money. Yeah, let's just keep the rest of our money. Actually, we do need a kicker. We need a kicker and a punter because our punter retired. So let's go for who's young. Tyler Bass is young, 26 years old. I'll give him a 4-year contract. We'll see what he says to that. Tyler Bass, probably going to come here. And then punter, Wisniewski. We'll go with, actually, no. Is the Scottish Hammer here? I thought I saw his name. There he is. Jamie Gillian, the Scottish Hammer. We'll go for a, you know what? We'll go for a 7-year contract because I don't want to sign a punter. So there we go. We'll go to targeted. Are we going to get these guys? Everybody but Tyler Bass is signed, and we got Gillian. We got Questenberry. Okay, so our offense line's figured out, except for we need kicker, and Tyler Bass is still not decided whether or not he's going to sign or not. Come on, Tyler, stop being that guy. It's not like you have a crazy amount of offers. You had one other offer from what was that, the Panthers? I don't even remember who was the offer, but it's not like you got any crazy offers out there. Just accept the offer and let's move on, because we need to get to the NFL draft. We've got major things planned for the major league draft, not the major league draft, for the NFL draft. Tyler Bass is still talking, and he is in a new battle now. We'll bump his money up. It's a lot of money for a kicker, but he's young. That's why everybody's going after him. We've jumped ahead. He signed. Did he sign with us? He did not. Really? Tyler? Who'd you sign with? You signed with the Titans. Get out of here. So who do we go with? Who else is here? Eddie Pinheiro. Nick Folk is 38 years old. Jason Sanders, 27, fine. That's perfect. We'll go a 3-year contract for Jason Sanders, and we will hopefully have him sign. He signed with us. Perfect. So that's good. Free agency's done. We'll keep the rest of our money. We will go continue simulating. We'll see where we sit with the mock draft. We have pick 1, we have pick 3, and we have pick 16. Who's the 5th-year option that they want us to pick up? Isaiah Simmons. Yeah, I'll pick up Isaiah Simmons' 5th-year option. I don't really care about locking him up for a longer contract. I'd rather extend it a little bit later. So that should be the only one. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we have about $83 million before the draft. We can make this work. We can do some damage here. Willie Anderson's going to be a stud. Jalen Carter's going to be a stud. We know that for a fact. Private workouts. Let's go to private workouts. Let's get our 3 guys locked down. So Tyree Wilson could be an option. We know we don't have to do any on this stuff because we know these guys are going to be good. It's some of the guys that we're not 100% sure on what they're going to look like that I'm going to use these on. So that would be like getting Bijan would be awesome. Let me do Bijan. Let me do. Ooh, I don't know. There's a couple good players down the board. Let me do Bijan. Receivers. Do we need to do a receiver? We could. It wouldn't hurt. There's a couple good ones. Darnell Washington. A couple good tight ends. Tackles we know about are pretty good. Ends. No. D tackles. We do need outside linebacking help. Will McDonald. Will McDonald was a first-round pick in real life. I don't really know where to go with this. Maybe Joey Porter? Or Brian Branch? Brian Branch is a safety in real life. Maybe if I draft him, I'll change him to safety. Jalen Catalon, Ronnie Hickman. I don't think Ronnie Hickman got drafted. This is tricky. I think I'll do Will McDonald because he was a first-round pick in real life, so why not make him a first-round pick here? And then we'll do Christian Gonzalez. We'll do Christian Gonzalez. So Bijan, Will McDonald, and Christian Gonzalez. The only reason I'm not doing like Will Anderson and Jalen Carter because we know those guys are going to be really good. I just want to find out if those other guys are going to be as good. So now on to the draft. This is big. This is really, really big. Let me take a look at the mock draft one last time to make sure that we know where the field is lying. So first overall pick, they have us taking Paris Johnson. We're not going to do that. We're going to take Will Anderson. Will Anderson's going to be number 1. Then I'm assuming CJ goes 2 to the Seattle Seahawks. Then 3 will be Jalen Carter, but they have Jalen Carter down at 7. So maybe we could trade back. Because once we take Will Anderson number 1, it's going to be thrown into whack. Like nobody knows what's going to happen. Bryce Young's all the way down at 8. That'd be a steal for the Jets. And then they have us at 16 picking. Why do they want us to get Luke Van Ness? He's a fine player, but I mean, we have a lot of needs, and I don't know if one of them is going to be Luke Van Ness filling that. So start the NFL draft. #1 pick. You know what? We could trade the #1 pick and still get Will Anderson. I just thought about that because they have us taking what's his face. We could trade with the Seahawks, just swap picks, and then we get a 3 and a 7 from next year. But I don't know if that's really worth it. We could swap with the Lions and get pick 4, and then a 3 and a 7. We could swap with the Eagles and get a 3 and a 4 next year. I traded a lot of my 3s, or my 3 and my 4 next year, so I don't hate that one. Huh. There's a very interesting move to be made here. The only problem is if I trade back, I'm risking Anderson getting picked up by one of the teams that we traded up with. That's the only issue that I have. So, like, say I trade back with the Eagles. What if the Eagles take Will Anderson with the first pick? Like, that's a problem that I have to try and figure out if I'm okay with. I could swap with the Eagles and the Seahawks and give them the first overall pick. We go back in 2 and 3. We also pick up a 3 and a 7. But would the Seahawks? No, they'd probably take CJ. Let's do it. Let's pick up a 3 and a 7. This could be a dumb idea. If the Seahawks screw me and take one of the 2 guys I'm targeting, they took CJ. I figured that's what they would do. Okay, so now we are at 2 and 3. We got an extra 3 for next year. Now what we do is we could go back and get... We could move with the Lions. Instead of 2 and 3, it'd be 3 and 4. Who would the Lions take? That's the only question. I'm trying to be too strategic about this. I think we just stick with our guys. I think we just stick with Will Anderson and with Jalen Carter. I don't know who the Lions would take, but I think we just stick with Will Anderson and Jalen Carter. I think that's the best option. So #2 overall is Will Anderson Jr. Welcome to the squad. He could have been picked by the Cardinals in real life, but they traded with the Texans. So Will Anderson Jr. is here, and now we have this pick that we're going to make it Jalen Carter, although Jalen Carter was projected to go, what, 7? I think he was. Jalen Carter's down the board a little bit. We could make this interesting. I don't know. Am I getting a little too crazy here? I might be getting a little too crazy moving around like this. None of the picks are worth it. None of the picks are worth it. Everybody that I want would be gone by the time we got up to the pick. So let's just take Jalen Carter with it. Let's not overthink it. Let's just take Jalen Carter. That's our defensive tackle for the hopefully the entirety of the video, or the entirety of the series. Jalen Carter, welcome to the squad. So we have 2 new rookies on defense that are going to be franchise players for us. The Lions take Christian Gonzalez at 4. The Eagles at 5 take Tyree Wilson. The Lions take Bryce Young at 6. That's a steal for them. Jackson Smith-Njigba goes to the Dolphins. Luke Van Ness to the Jets. Isaiah Foskey to the Packers. Osiris Torrance to the Jaguars. Antonio Johnson to the Commanders. Paris Johnson. So he was projected to go #1 overall. He falls to 12 to the Steelers. Big pick by them. Brian Brees goes to the Texans. 14, Skronsky goes to the Bucks. The Titans take Will Levis. Hey, look at that. The Titans end up with Will Levis in real life, and they end up with him here. Although he went in the second round in real life. And now it's us. Okay, I almost skipped past it. That would have been bad. It is now us. Let's take a look at the draft board before I choose whether or not I'm going to trade the pick or not. So, Michael Mayer is here. We could use a tight end. But we could use a lot of different things. We could use Bijan. We could use Joey Porter. Quentin Johnston. Zay Flowers. Brian Branch. I mean, there's a lot of good players on the board that I don't think will be here by the second round. We pick at the top of the second round at pick 1 of the second round. So, I don't think any of these guys will be here when we pick at the top of the second round. I think I'm going to take Bijan, but I want to move down. I'm trying to think because when you get auto-generated draft classes, there's rarely ever a running back that is like very, very good, like a generational. So why not take a running back that I feel like could be generational or close to it in Bijan instead of having to risk it? Because you can find tight ends all the time that are generational in auto-generated classes. So that's the only thing I'm trying to think about in my head. I'm trying to work it out. If it's a good idea to trade back or to just draft Bijan. And nobody's giving me first round picks that I want. 22 is probably too far. 27 is certainly too far. But then everybody else is 24. So I'm just going to take Bijan. Just going to take Bijan Robinson and then have to see who's there at pick 1 in the second round. Hopefully some good options for us. Bijan Robinson, welcome to the team. Hidden development, 88 speed, 90 acceleration, 90 change of direction. Hopefully he's our franchise running back. That is the goal. And then next season we can move on from James Conner, so that's awesome. Next pick is Tyler Steen for the Bears. Then you got Broderick Jones going to the Bills. Anthony Richardson goes to the Colts. Look at that. It's working out just fine. I mean, CJ went to the Seahawks instead of the Texans, and Bryce Young went to the Lions instead of the Panthers. But Will Levis and Anthony Richardson still ended up on the real teams. Joey Porter Jr. goes to the Ravens. Quentin Johnston goes to the Patriots. That's a good pickup. I like that. And then we still don't have Michael Mayer. Brian Branch goes to the Giants. John Michael Smith, there we go. Michael Mayer to the Panthers. Miles Murphy, that's a big pickup. I like Miles Murphy. All right, we are heading into the second round. There goes Jahmyr Gibbs. Anton Harrison. Final pick of the first round. Eagles, they get Devin Witherspoon. Okay, so now we sit at the top of the second round with Zay Flowers on the board, which I like. Cam Smith on the board, which I'm intrigued by. Akeem Dent, Zion Nelson, Jordan Addison. This is a decent receiver class for later in the round. Because you've got like Kayshon Boutte, Jalen Hyatt, Jordan Addison, Marvin Mims, Josh Downs, all these guys, Tank Dell, all these guys are fairly good. But Zay Flowers could be the best of all of them. Is he fast? He's not like super fast. He's an okay player. He's not amazing. Jordan Addison, what does he do well? Does he do anything well? He's a very good athlete. All right. I think I'm going to pass on Zay Flowers. What about Jalen Hyatt? Very good athlete, 4.39 at the combine. There's Boutte, not as good. I think I'm going to take Cam Smith. Only normal development, okay. Very interesting. Next user pick in the third round. I'm not going to go too far into the third or into the draft. I'll probably let the rest of the people do it. Luke Musgrave, Dalton Kincaid, Sam Laporte. There's a couple good tight ends here. I think I'm going to take Sam Laporte. Only normal development. Okay. Whatever. We're getting players. Into the fourth round. We'll see what's here. We've got Hodge Tomlinson, Christopher Smith. What about linebacker or edge rusher? Nick Rose. Oh, there's Will McDonald. Let's take Will McDonald. We scouted him, so we'll take Will McDonald. Normal development. I think I'm going to let the CPU take the rest. So this is our draft recap. Will Anderson, 80, and Jalen Carter's an 80. Robinson's a 79, so I'm happy with those three picks. Cam Smith's a 73. Laporte's a 71, so is McDonald. They took Deontay Riley and Cedric Tillman. I don't hate those picks, but they're not going to help us, really. The highest overall player in the draft is Will Anderson, Jalen Carter. We got the two highest players in the draft, and we got the tied for the second highest with Bijan, so I think we did a good job in that draft. We'll see how it goes next episode, but that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.